Yeah, I love Castle. I mean, I think we're going to hear a lot of from UConn when we watch the NBA draft on Wednesday night, particularly in that first round. All right, let's switch gears a little bit because we are narrowing, we are coming close to the halfway mark in Major League Baseball, and I want to take a look at some World Series odds, or for that matter, some World Series picks from you two gentlemen. I have one. I even have a long shot I might want to throw in here, which is on this board here. But Mike McClure, I'm going to start with you. If you had to make a World Series wager right now, what's the team?
It's the New York Yankees for me, Sia, plus 450. You notice three of the top four are going to be National League teams, all while the Dodgers are still leading at plus 280. I like the Yankees. I think that this is one of the best teams they've had in a very, very long time. The game is going to be, can they remain healthy? Stanton just hit the DL. We've had some concerns with Judge a little bit, but if they've got Judge, Soto, Stanton, and that pitching staff that's getting healthier by the day, I think this is a spot where the Yankees are very likely to reach the World Series. Whereas on the other side, I think that the Phillies and Braves are super interesting towards the Dodgers. But for me, I think that the Yankees are far and away the best team in the American League.
Hard to argue that, Mike, and I agree. The Yankees do certainly appear to be the best team in the American League. But I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League at 6-1 odds. Just looking at this Philadelphia Phillies roster, top to bottom, guys, it just has so much talent. I just feel they're so well balanced. You have an elite starting pitching rotation, really four or five guys that can take the ball. You have confidence in a playoff game. I love the fact they just locked up Christopher Sanchez to that 4-year contract extension as well. Zach Wheeler's been as good as any pitcher in baseball. Aaron Nola, super durable. You know he can give you solid innings in the playoffs as well. And then the lineup, 1 through 9, I feel like the Phillies have one of the premier lineups as well, led by a perennial MVP candidate in Bryce Harper, but getting lots of contributions all over the board. They're also healthy. Trey Turner returning to the lineup, and the bullpen has been really good. Not a lot of weaknesses for this Phillies team, certainly reflected in their MLB best record as well. So I still think they're going to be active too as we approach the trade deadline, potentially adding another bat to the lineup or maybe a long reliever as well. So I just think this Phillies team is primed to make a run. Top to bottom, the roster's phenomenal, and I like their chances at 6-1 odds, especially. See ya.
Yeah, prop stars. I gotta agree with you. I like for anybody who thought, well, that's prop stars. He loves Philadelphia teams. That's a homer pick. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and back up the potential homer pick. I really like the Phillies here. No, don't get me wrong. I like the Yankees too. I considered the Orioles as well at around plus 800. But I just love this Phillies team, especially getting Trey Turner back. I think from top to bottom, this lineup is so strong, and the pitching rotation, it's a little deeper than I would have thought going into the season. We know who the stars are in that pitching rotation, but we've got a 3 and 4 that's not bad, and this is a good bullpen too. There's just really not a lot of weaknesses, and when we get into playoff mode, I really like how this Phillies team functions. I do think they raise it up a level where some teams can kind of fizzle a little bit. So I'm going to back the Phillies at plus 600 too. By the way, the long shot I was going to mention, I saw it on the board there at the very end. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks at 60-1. Just real quick on them. This is a very underperforming team so far. They're not even in the wild card yet, but that's why their odds are so long at 60-1 or even 50-1. I do think this team starts to turn it around. Some of these batters start to perform like we expect, and this rotation really starts to round out. So I think a 50 or 60-1 flyer, especially with the Braves potentially taking a step back with their injuries and their issues. I think it's an interesting team because I do think they're going to make the playoffs, and we know once they make the playoffs, they can be very much playoff ready.